wink. Yep. It is 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Daylight Time here in Los Angeles. It's December 17th, 2021 AD, Friday. Gonna have a fun loosey-goosey Friday show, I think, hopefully. You can call in, but I want to talk about these, just some examples of these women in history. Evil people with the wrong idea about what leadership is. And some interesting things going on. There's an attack on Christians, whites, men, nice people. Don't be nice, guys. It just invites attack. You're like asking to be genocided. The FDA has greenlit abortion pills. I told you they were corrupt. I've been telling you they're corrupt. And they just proved themselves to be corrupt. Shameful. Shameful. And some other things, some drama, some fights, right? Blacks acting out, one white acting out, pro-black white. Former guest on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. And by the way, Ron DeSantis seems to be or acts like he's fighting for America and for the parents and the children. I appreciate that, although he's using anti-discrimination laws to do it. Whatever. But anyway, guys, let's get right on with the show!
Have you been naughty or nice?
It's the Hake Report, the Hake Report. It's the Hake Report, the Hake Report.
Hey, guys!
It's the Hake Report, the Hake Report.
So, how are you guys doing? I am fine. Malkuth X states, Hake, I have spent an exhaustive amount of time compiling all your sound effects intros. I must say you have a very diverse amount of sounds, dude. He says, check out Hake Noise, Not Fake Noise, Part 1 on my channel. Hopefully Hake will play it here. I was not aware of it until now. I knew that you were thinking about it. I had caught glimpses of your chats, Malkuth X. Well, thank you. I'm flattered. Check out Malkuth X on YouTube. Hake Noise, Not Fake Noise. What a mess. Somebody said, oh, I think I'll pass on that. Anyway, I want to, before I get to calls, you can call in, guys. Merry Christmas. It is Friday. Some horrible things. I have a horrible quote to share with you. And I feel like I'm piling on this woman. But yet I don't feel like I'm piling on her enough. CNN shares this dumb, evil quote, and I honestly have a tendency to like this woman. Keechant Sewell. I've been talking about her for days now. This is my third day talking about Keechant or Keechant. How do you say it, Black? Keechant. 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 Sewell. Sewell? She's the one who was appointed by the Black mayor-elect Eric Adams of New York City. Yeah, it's on the whole other side of the country from me, but it's still America, right? She will soon become the first woman to lead the New York Police Department and the first Black to lead, quote-unquote, lead the department in nearly 30 years. So I shared with you about, I actually played a clip yesterday. I played clip part A, but I didn't play part B. Would you grab part B while I'm blabbering from yesterday? I don't know. Yeah, thank you. Here's this quote from this woman in the meantime. Listen to this. What I've been able to accomplish, I hope it inspires women, young girls, men. Oh, come on. I would hope they see representation, and representation matters. What a lie. What an evil person. She's the police commissioner. A police commissioner is not a representative, okay? That's partly the issue. She's pretending, oh, it's because they have a Black woman. I'm a representative. And maybe by men, she means black men. Who knows? Or maybe she thinks that white men will see her example and be inspired by her competence. Well, it turns out fair-minded people, whites, they do appreciate competence. But I'm leery about this woman and her mindset. Sounds like a liberal to me. And Eric Adams is a Democrat. Although he was a cop, a lot of black cops are, was that a bad noise? Malkuth X? They got the wrong mindset. They cry discrimination. I mean, I like Brandon Tatum, but that's it. No, there's some other good guys out there. So, do you have that Part B clip? Listen to this Part B clip from yesterday's news report from, I think, CBS New York. Here are the black people of the community all happy that they got a black woman to lead, quote unquote, lead the New York City Police Department. Maybe she's not as bad as some of the SJWs who are running the show, but listen to this mess.
People in the community are thrilled she got the job.
She's set a platform for young women of color to understand that they can rise to the top. It's nothing stopping us. And the fact that she has compassion, it's just extremely important because we need that in our community.
That's a good thing. That shows that's a definite sign of advancement as far as the black community and as far as women are concerned. Because women have been overshadowed for centuries, and it's time that they get the just respect that they deserve.
Well, Adams said he picked Keechant Sewell because of all the people he interviewed. She performed the best under pressure during a mock press conference about the killing of an unarmed black man by a white police officer.
And Sewell becomes not only the first female commissioner, she is the third African American to lead the NYPD. Benjamin Ward was the first, serving under Mayor Koch from 1984 to 89. Lee Brown was the second, appointed by David Dinkins. He was in charge from 1990 to 92. And 30 years later, Keechant Sewell set to step into the role in 2022.
What a fake world we're living in. They come into it with the wrong idea, says your girlfriend. Why would you sign it for a job and boast about something shallow like your race? I'd fire her if I were mayor. Yeah. But I mean, the mayor himself, he ran. Part of his platform was, I'm going to put a woman of color in charge of the police. It's ridiculous. It's evil. Replacing the white man. I will ensure that the safety of this city will be restored. Nope. Headed off with, I'm black. And these idiots agree. Yeah. So shameful. So ridiculous. By the way, speaking of your girlfriend, she's all, what happened to the classic Hake Report? Yeah, we didn't play it today. I don't know if that was that an accident or was that on purpose? Because it's Christmas time. It's Friday. Normally we play the AJ Gallardo version, but we played the Christmas version from Trevor Wesley. You'll just have to wait until next week and then cross your fingers because we were at the mercy of Chris. Asmodor says it was sacrificed for Silent Night, Deadly Night, John Carpenter version. Quick super chat from Asmodor. Both prior black New York Police Department police chiefs oversaw massive surges in crime. I was wondering about that. Obviously, I did not take the time to look into that, but I was wondering. That's right. He said, the guy who said that about, he's the third African American police chief or police commissioner was 80s, in the early mid 80s, and another one in maybe the 90s or I forget. 30 years ago though. Ridiculous. Let me see if I can pull it up to see what exactly the years were. Benjamin Ward, 84 to 89, and Lee Brown, 90 to 92. Yeah, the crack epidemic. And you know what? They pretend, those laws that Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton passed were racist. Stupid. Those laws were encouraged and the black so-called leadership at that time, they were begging for more harsh crackdown on crime because blacks were the primary, not just perpetrators, but victims of the murders and mess. So anyway, that's that for that. Let me get to a call or two. I'm going to talk about women around the world. But first, let me get to Blazing Hogs, the night rider from the sundown town of Dayton, Ohio. How you doing, Blazing Hogs?
Hola, sí, señor Hake. Sí.
Hey, it's great to hear from you. Doing fine. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Thank you, man.
Just giving you a follow-up. Remember when I called in picked about the mandate here at GE?
Mandate. What was the mandate in Dayton, Ohio?
They gave us till December 8th to be back by.
Oh, yeah.
Or you were going to be terminated. So
Yeah,
I was
factory. Over in a factory, right?
Yeah.
Something like that?
GE Aviation.
Okay.
Welding.
Yeah, welding, yeah.
Aircraft engines.
That's cool. I mean, that part is cool. The mandate is stupid and evil, I think.
Yeah, so I was just wanting to give you a follow-up. You kind of advised to be still and just wait and see.
Yeah.
And that those words are so true, and they really pay off when people don't overreact. And
yeah,
because I have prime example here. So I turned in my religious exemption. It was accepted.
Nice.
But then just 2 weeks ago, they just did away with all the mandates all together.
Wow.
Because of Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio there's a major lawsuit going on right now with the mandate. So GE as a whole, they just backed away. You don't have to be vaxxed, and you don't have to have any exemptions or anything turned in now.
That's great, man. Wow.
Yeah, but just to go back on my work on being still and not overreacting, there were so many people here that were pissed, the same day.
Right.
And they ended up going out in anger and getting the first back. And then they were seeing that all the religious exemptions was getting accepted, and that they just it was like a double whammy to them. And then here just last 2 weeks ago, they did away with any of it. Everything is on hold.
Wow.
And everybody, I'm just like, yeah, look at, if you guys would have just been calm and not just went and got vaccinated out of anger,
right,
it would have been all right. So,
yep.
Yeah, I was just wanting to give you an update on that.
Well, thank you, man. Did you pass along that advice to those guys who were upset at their how they jumped?
They're just kind of like down on themselves about it now. And they were like, yeah, you were right. You should have done it. Well, some of these hillbillies around here, they're like, oh, I'm too dumb to fill out the religious exemption form.
I know how they feel.
And it was just a formality thing, is all it was.
Right.
I mean, if you just had to put some smoke and mirrors on it and do it right, everybody got accepted. But
wow, man. Well, tell those guys don't beat themselves up over overreacting, because that's only going to compound their problems. They're
already gotten vaxxed. It's over with now.
Yeah, no use getting worked up over it. Keep yourself calm. It's better for your health.
Yeah. I said, well, it is what it is now.
Yep.
But big shout out to Raymond 11 and Jeanette Korzenko. They really helped me out with that, going through that there and getting my religious exemption filled out. So
nice,
shout
man.
out to them out of the chat family.
Right on.
And
shout out to the chat.
And it's not real flat right here in the Miami Valley where I'm at. It's hilly, up and down valley. So that's for Robert, Kansas.
So the earth is not flat. It's hilly.
And hopefully you can understand this Daytonian voice. because Maze's call yesterday was just completely chicken squabble.
Yeah, it was worse than usual, it seemed like to me.
Hey, all the emotions get turned up for the holidays.
True. Yeah. A lot of people depressed during the holidays, I hear.
They get the emotions going, and they get a little excited.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, can't control it. But nope, that's all I had. Glad you all are back healthy again.
Thank
and
you,
on
man.
the air, and Merry Christmas to the whole crew there, Chris and Nick. Love y'all. Y'all have a good one.
You too, Blazing Hogs. Thank you, man. Take care.
Later.
All right. What a great report on just staying calm. Great advice, huh? Great advice. That's one of the reasons that I support Bond, because JLP is clearly just telling the truth and just consistently helping people out. How can you hate that? How can you hate? Let me get to Rick in Maine. He's on the hold, wants to correct me on American history, I think. How you doing, Rick?
Merry Christmas, brother. How you doing?
Doing well. Merry Christmas to you.
There you go. There you go. I've been hearing a lot of chatter about American history back and two here. And there's a lot that I disagree with about what people are saying.
Are you talking about on this show or on elsewhere?
Both.
Okay.
Both. Yours and Jesse's show.
Oh, okay.
All right. American Indian means exactly that, American Indian.
That's right.
The English, not the Europeans, the English settled this country.
Yeah.
The thing that I disagree with is people saying that this country was not a country beforehand. This continent had several small nations in it before the English settled here.
Right.
So they had their own countries in this area. That's why there was confrontation here and there between the tribes.
Battling over land.
Battling over land, battling over rights for property, for hunting, survival, etc.
In many cases, they made deals with each other to get the land.
Exactly.
It wasn't all stolen land like people claim. Yeah.
There were some prisoners taken.
Right.
Some of the tribes were more aggressive than others.
For sure. Some of them were merciless Indian savages.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But they were brought up that way. It was in their their upbringing to be of that character.
Yeah.
So this nonsense about all these falsehoods that I've been hearing about, this one was here first, that one was here first.
Oh,
Recorded history.
Right.
States how it happened. How it happened.
So you don't think that the whites came here and built the South American and Central American pyramids?
Well, the whites came here to get away from England, which was a tyranny.
There was also Spaniards, though, who were coming in here.
Yes, there was, but they did not settle this country. They discovered it, but they did not settle it.
Yeah,
The English came in, and they started the 13 colonies, which started settling this country.
Yeah.
They had their squabbles amongst the tribes. I have documentation of many of them north of Massachusetts, where this country started. They were at war with each other for the same thing we just talked about.
You're talking about the different tribes were warring.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when the English stuck their nose in, of course, they had to get involved. And you have the history from that point forward. But there's a lot of historical markings that have been stated in this country that are false. And we have recorded history out of the history books, out of letters, out of documentation of all kinds to prove what happened actually in this country. And a lot of my folks that are on both sides of the fence. I've got 3 tribes in my bloodstream. I've got Passamaquoddy, Penobscot, and Blackfoot.
Blackfoot?
And I also have, yes. And I also have English, Irish, French, Dutch.
Wow.
Scott. So, yeah, I'm a mutt. I'll admit that.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just that I keep hearing that this one claims settlement, that one claims settlement. The only settlement was from what I've stated. And that's the way that it was through history.
True.
Now, as far as getting along is concerned, people better start settling the differences.
Yeah.
Because we are losing humanity, the only race on this planet.
That's right.
And
These
everybody seems to think one is better than the other. Now, I'm going to state something very clear here. If you put your pants on backwards and you bleed green, then you got something to state about being different than each other. If you don't, you're just like me.
Yeah.
Because I bleed red and I put my pants on front ways.
Nice.
So there's no difference between me and the next guy. And I treat each individual as they should be treated, as I should be treated in return. Treat those of your friends, of your people that you meet. Treat them the same way you treat yourself.
Yep. I have a super chat. I have a super chat from Asmodor on.
Hey, Asmodor.
He says the caller is conflating Stone Age tribes with nations. He says this does not compute.
Asmodor, it's still a nation of people. Stone Age? No, not hardly. We was well past that point. We didn't run around with wheels or trying to make the wheel or this, that, and the other thing. We had knowledge ourselves to take care of ourselves back then. We still do now.
All right.
We've got to get rid of these hate, get rid of this hate and indifferences that continuously create squabbles. That's where all this hate comes from. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Have a good one, Asmodor. Merry Christmas to you, bud.
Thank you, Rick. Appreciate you. Take care.
All right. Take care.
All right. Daisy 1350 responding after I told about that lady, police chief lady. Quick super chats for you guys. That police commissioner lady who's like, "Oh, I'm a woman. I'm a black." Saying that that's it's an attack on whites and they're replacing the white man. Daisy 1350 says, natural ethno-states and white flight, it's the only way. Interesting statement, Daisy 1350, appreciate it. Asmodor is talking about those 2 prior black police chiefs from the 80s and 90s. If they served under Koch, which was how they pronounced it, spelled the same way as Koch, like the Koch brothers, K-O-C-H, and Dinkins, you don't need to look them up. Just look at what happened to crime under those administrations. Fair enough, Asmodor. Yeah. The crime, it went out of control in the 80s and 90s. I don't know. I was around back then, but I wasn't paying attention back then. But it was nuts. Asmodor says with the super chat, the country didn't start in Massachusetts. The Jamestown colony in Virginia predated the Plymouth landing. Remember Plymouth Rock? Tell Rick to stop embarrassing himself with history. The USA literally started at the Constitutional Convention in New York City or the signing of the Declaration of Independence in Philadelphia. None of that happened in Massachusetts. Well, I appreciate the history lesson, Asmodor. Thank you, sir. And shout out to the super chatters over there on Streamlabs, Alexandra, Simon, Michael, Lin Yen Chin, and all the rest. Lord Baby 42. Thank you, guys. Before I get back to calls, hang tight, guys. We will get to you. And if you if you call in and you get put on hold, you will hear my voice live with no delay. Just hang there and we will get to your call. So don't just hang up. But let me tell you about this women around the world propaganda. For some reason, I was getting these emails from Aussie.com, OZY.com. What is that? Australia? I don't know. Women, New Zealand has been bad for a long time. 1893. While access to the ballot was still very much, this is from Aussie.com, very much a privilege to wealthy, white, racial elites in America and Europe. New Zealand in 1893 held the first election where everyone, Maori, those are the Indians over there, if you will, white men and women could vote. Everyone could vote. Wow, shameful. Universal suffrage had finally arrived and would slowly be embraced by modern democracies around the world. Shameful. Shameful. In Sri Lanka, 1960, known as Ceylon at the time. Some of you guys may know better how to pronounce that word, Ceylon. Sri Lanka was called Ceylon, according to Aussie.com. The country hadn't yet reached its teens as an independent nation with the assassination of Prime Minister Solomon Bandaranaike. Butchering that name, probably. In 1959, his wife, Sirimavo Bandaranaike, Bandaranaike, was dubbed the Weeping Widow, this woman, his widow, because she would frequently break out in tears. But what did they do? Sri Lanka, come on. They're kind of like the people from India, right? Sri Lanka, kind of similar, I think. I think of them as being kind of similar. In 1960 national elections, the very next year, Sirimavo, that's her first name, as she was widely known. They used first names for women back then. It made more sense. She led her late husband's party to victory. She became the world's first ever female prime minister. Horrible, huh? Paving the way for leaders like India's Indira Gandhi, Israel's Golda Meir, M-E-I-R, and Britain's Margaret Thatcher. Barf! I like Thatcher a little bit. I don't know. Sirimavo pulled the country down into democratic socialism. So she was a Bernie Sanders. You know how Bernie Sanders thinks like a woman and is a liar, and he bows down to women and lets them take over his podium, especially Black Lives Matter, radical screaming women. He's a kiss up. Well, this woman pulled the country into his mess, communism. They call it democratic socialism, meaning the mob is so dumb that they bring in mess. And Buddhist nationalism. Interesting. Surviving a coup attempt. Wow. And a period of political exile. She was exiled for a while. And then she returned to power in the 70s and again in the 90s. Power-hungry, ambitious woman. But I get rest in peace to her late husband who got assassinated. Whatever. Some other mess. Ozzy has some other interesting stories, not necessarily about women, about Benin. Benin, a West African country that was run by a Marxist-Leninist, a pragmatic, peaceful guy who peacefully gave it up in 1991, gave up he ran the country for like 20 years under Marxist-Leninist rule. I don't know, maybe the people liked it, or maybe he knew that the mainstream media around the world liked communism. So he pretended to be a communist, maybe. But then he got back to power later. They talk about Nazi Germany, and it's very interesting, their paragraph about Nazi Germany back in the 30s or whatever, talking about street violence against the communists and big business government collusion under the Nazis and not having truly free and fair elections after Hitler got power. That all sounds very familiar to what's going on here with the bad guys running the show here. The communists today in America are doing street violence against what they call Nazis, meaning normal Americans. And the street violent leftists get a pass. The right-wingers who do a little bit of self-defense or do a little bit of protest get a little out of hand. Hard fist coming down on them. The parents being called domestic terrorists who don't want their kids to be brainwashed into believing this fake racism mess. Big businesses are colluding with the government, globalists, enemies of America, pushing this fake racism, LGBT madness, and communist shutdowns, commie capitalist shutdowns. The big businesses are doing fine, some of them, while others are doing horrible. And not having truly free and fair elections, it just kind of sounds familiar. I don't know. It was an interesting paragraph from Aussie.com there on the Daily Update, I think. South Africa, too, in which communist Nelson Mandela, he set that country up to fail. Maybe he was a little bit competent, even though he was a communist. He set it up as a rainbow nation, along with the globalist, anti-white mainstream media and UN and American enemies of America, right? They kiss up to the first black woman elected to Congress here in America. That Shirley Chisholm woman, she had to fight for every inch she ever got politically. Shirley Chisholm. Chisholm or Chisholm? I learned about her for the first time because cackling Kamala Harris's failed presidential campaign design, graphic design, was stolen from her presidential mess, failed run for president. Two so-called black women failed in their runs for president. Thank God, huh? Here's something interesting. Another little historical parallel. I'm not good at history, right? But this is from Aussie.com. In 1864, was Lincoln a commie? He was doing mail-in voting? Pulling shenanigans? I don't know. But in 1864, listen to this. Abraham Lincoln sought re-election in the middle of the quote-unquote Civil War, which Kraka advised me it's more properly called the War of Northern Aggression, indeed, and for the first time rolled out voting by mail for soldiers in the field. Turned out to be a bit of a legal mess, according to Aussie.com. And like today, a political fight. Union soldiers, were they useful idiots? They tended to favor Lincoln. They were more favorable to Lincoln. Maybe because he was a good guy, maybe because they were useful idiots, suckered, who knows? So mail-in balloting was pushed by Republicans as opposed to Democrats. In other words, in another wrinkle, not other words, pro-Lincoln Nevada. Wow, Nevada, always been corrupt? No, I don't know. Was added to the Union just 9 days before the election. Crazy. Shenanigans, huh? Viewer USA says, oh, heck no. The South started the war. Are you sure, though? Because they seceded. If they seceded, they didn't want war. They just wanted to leave. Viewer USA, am I wrong? I know that they had a standoff and nobody knows who fired the first shot, according to what we're told. If nobody knows, but the so-called winners are telling the story, maybe somebody did know. I don't know. Side note, with regard to shenanigans and stuff, I don't know what Lincoln did, but that's an interesting story. Mike Cernovich, you guys know him? He was on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. And the fallen state guest hosted JLP a couple of times. Did you know that? And he spoke at a men's conference, Bond men's conference, a few years back. He made the point that evil people, Democrats today, the evil rhinos, filthy rhinos who just betray the true American Republicans. Democrats, right? Evil people are gonna cheat. They're gonna cheat. You have to catch them and you have to stop them. Or head it off in some way. You have to be cunning as serpents, right? Innocent as doves. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to get to more. There's an attack on Christians, on the babies, on the normal people who are not falling for this transgender madness. And by the way, oh my gosh, I'm going to show YouTube. Google is evil. Google is evil. You know how I'll get to it. It's ridiculous. But first, let me get to a call. Jeremiah in Louisiana wants to talk foreign policy, I think. Jeremiah, how are you doing?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, not much.
How's everybody?
We're doing fine, I think. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, I want to talk a little foreign policy. Yeah, I'm doing well, man. I'm doing all right.
Cool.
Doing fine. Yeah, I did want to talk a little bit about foreign policy, but first, I don't know if I want to talk about the foreign policy or your soul patch that you don't want to call soul patch. Now, why is it you don't want to call it soul patch, though?
Because soul sounds, soul patch, the word patch, it feels a little like weird, and then soul sounds kind of black. Not sure. He's laughing at me, not with me, I think.
So the soul sounds black,
Right.
and the patch, but it's a patch though.
Patch just doesn't sound right. It seems like it should be like facial hair.
I guess.
Yeah, whatever.
I mean, it's facial hair, I guess, but yeah. So the whole soul part, right? That's what I was getting at. So I don't know if you've seen the movie Django, but Leonardo DiCaprio actually explained that. He explained something very accurate in that movie. I don't want to get too much into it, but he said the human brain for Negroes anyway, it makes some kind of I guess some kind of fluid or something out of the pineal gland that makes us more submissive, or it makes us more submissive is what he said in the movie. But it makes it's really an empathetic thing, sympathizing or empathetic. You said that's liberal words, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's a humanitarian,
compassion.
really. I don't know what you think about
melanin gives you compassion.
Right. And y'all don't have that, which is why y'all can enslave people and not care.
But that's funny because the black slave owners are reputed to have been more harsh than the white slave owners.
But
FYI.
they learned what they learned from you guys. You know what I'm saying? And, the cycle just repeated itself.
Nice.
That's just what it was. But, how do you feel about this thing going on in Russia and Ukraine at the border?
I'm fine with whatever happens, I think. Except,
really?
because Russia, Ukraine, a lot of Ukrainians feel Russian, and a lot of, I don't know, it's just it seems like melodrama that phony people are caught up on. What do you think about it?
I'm excited for these times. When I hear stuff like that, it makes me excited.
What, white on white war or what?
Not necessarily white on white. It's just I know that stuff is coming to fruition.
Oh, wars and rumors of wars, end times type stuff.
America, Russia and America is probably going to be like the last war, right? That's like the one that everybody talks about.
Armageddon.
So, I'm sorry, say it again.
Like Armageddon or something.
I guess you could say that, but Armageddon already happened.
Oh, all right. Interesting.
I mean, it's just this is that the Russian. Everybody knows. Well, a lot of people know the war that is fought between Russia against America. That's going to be like the last war.
And then after that, the whites will bow down to the black Hebrew Israelites.
Well, it's going to be troubling times. I'll just say that, and I don't think it's going to be like y'all just going to bow down. No, that's not going to happen.
Oh, okay.
But it's going to be real troubling times. I'll just put it that way.
Okay.
I just wanted to know your input on it because I don't know if you talked about it or not, but I just wanted to know how you felt about that.
Yeah, no, I have no opinion. I haven't paid much attention to it at all. Okay. I've heard, what's funny is, you know how the Americas pretends to be anti-racist, and then I've heard that some of those Ukrainians are like being compared to Nazis by people who supposedly know. Some of the pro-Ukrainian people. Whatever.
Right? Yeah, that's crazy.
Super chat from Asmodor in response to something you said earlier. Whites don't have compassion. And he mockingly states, that's why we've spent trillions and wrecked our whole country trying to help crybaby blacks. Literally given up our own jobs and spots at universities and allowed our cities to be wrecked. What black country does this? What black country does that for its people? If the blacks are so compassionate, but the whites are not.
He said that y'all spent trillions of dollars trying to
help the crybaby blacks.
Does he know that y'all also spent trillions of dollars to keep us divided?
I'm sure he does know that.
Trillions of dollars to help us, but y'all spend trillions of dollars to keep us divided.
It's not y'all. It's other groups, but yes.
You all.
No. I'm not saying y'all or you all. I'm saying it's not Asmodor and it's not me spending trillions of dollars to keep blacks and whites divided.
But you just said, it's not you guys that's spending trillions of dollars to help us either, right?
Right.
Okay.
But they are white. Many of them are white. The whites are the most overly compassionate and overly nice. So you're just denying reality.
Are those the Democrats or the Republicans spending these trillions of dollars to help us out?
Both. Unfortunately. I wish it were only the Democrats because the Democrats are such phonies, right? But Republicans are too nice to the blacks too. And that only hamstrings you people.
You know what? I would respect the Republicans. The way I would respect the Republicans is don't respond to the Democrats. Do what you're supposed to do, right? Don't let them talk. Let them talk. If y'all just do what y'all do, then y'all would probably get a lot more respect.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? If y'all really did what was the righteous thing.
Exactly.
Y'all ain't gonna do the righteous thing. The righteous thing would be to enforce God's law, not man-made laws.
Whatever.
But I don't see that happening. I really can't see that happening.
Yep. What a shame.
But what he said, I don't know. I guess it has to it. Maybe they have spent trillions of dollars to help, the black community out. I would say,
we even let you guys interracially marry with the white women and all that mess.
Oh yeah.
Which you don't even agree with, but we let you guys run wild. Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. Whites are being pushed around, Jeremiah, because they're the nicest people. Niceness is weakness, and they smell that weakness, and so they accuse us of being what they are, racist. Not that it exists, but they're the ones they're the people accusing whites of hate are the hateful ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the whole guilt trip thing, right? Is that like a part of why white people are doing so much for minorities?
Yeah, false guilt.
Like, what is it?
Yeah, false guilt. It's a false guilt. There's a lot of intimidation. There's a lot of just...
Who's intimidated? How are you intimidated by minorities?
It's not minorities. I mean, sometimes there are minorities who intimidate. Like, a lot of blacks threaten...
Gays?
Gays do that, too. A lot of blacks and gays threaten lawsuits. Women do that. Lawsuits. We have a whole lot of corruption.
Intimidated by black, gays, and women.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole lot of corruption. They have the power of the government behind them and the corporations. They can take your job. Have you ever heard of have you even paid attention to what's going on? What the heck?
About what?
People, whites losing their jobs, men, Christians losing their jobs, losing their companies, losing their basketball teams, and getting beat up on the streets, getting falsely accused of all kinds of so-called horrible things.
Why are they losing their job? What are they losing their job to? The pandemic?
For the fake idea of racism and the fake idea of sexism and the fake idea of homophobia.
But how do they lose their job? Do they say something?
Because the suckers,
they're trying to like.
Because the world is a lot of lies. It's evil. The world is evil, and the evil goes against.
And everybody will.
Evil goes against good.
Think it's racist.
Are you not aware of the world of the evil of the world, Jeremiah?
I definitely am. Yes.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Here, Asmodor has a super chat. Jeremiah has nothing. Therefore, he answers my pertinent question with a stupid question. He's proof of the average IQ of American black males being 80. He says you're 80 IQ.
Ooh, okay. So so he said something about y'all spend trillions of dollars to help us out, and I said you spend trillions of dollars to divide us. How is that stupid?
It is a stupid question because there's a whole lot of
I mean, it wasn't even a question. It was a statement.
Yeah, it's irrelevant because you can't answer to his point.
But I mean, I said
you made the claim whites have no compassion. Whites have bent over backwards for you people. And you turn around and say, oh, whites have also tried to divide us.
The only reason that you think that you have compassion is because they've been false
parents
into having compassion, right? That's the
no,
only reason that
there is true compassion. The men of true compassion.
That's not true compassion.
Yes, there is.
No,
I know that's. I already know that's not true compassion, Jeremiah. Hey, Jeremiah. Let me tell you what true compassion is. Trump. He loves the country and he tells the truth. And actually, he's a little bit too nice sometimes too. 80s being generous. And then he's hated for it. Some of the most honest men. Jesse Lee Peterson, another man of compassion. Soul is white. White on the inside. And he's hated for it.
I don't know about that. Trump didn't even build the wall. He promised the wall. He didn't build the wall.
Oh, yeah, he did. He built the wall. You're just ignorant. You're ignorant.
He didn't build that wall like he wanted it. Oh. He lied.
He didn't lie?
He lied.
You're a joke. You're a joke, Jeremiah.
And Mexico was going to pay for it.
Oh, yeah, they were going to pay.
Lie.
Oh, they were paying for it.
That sounds like a lie.
It sounds like a lie to somebody who loves lies. Jeremiah, you're a mess.
He didn't build no wall.
Yes, he did build the wall.
Okay. You can hold on to that, Hank, if you want to. That's
all right.
That's your choice.
Well, Merry Christmas. Bye. What a mess. Caller is confusing whites with Democrats. Yeah, there weren't normal whites who were sowing this divide and conquer stuff, that's for sure. Lin Yen Shin with the super chat. Jeremiah is a vapid, meaning empty, mess. Just a mouth-breathing brain worshiper lost in fantasy about us blacks being the real Jews that will exact vengeance upon all others. He seeks your demise, Lord Goodhair. Yeah, I caught the hint that that's why he's celebrating Russia versus Ukraine. Michael Parkinson gave a super chat. Hake, did you get an answer from JLP regarding taking human lives in combat? I have not asked him that directly, but I feel like he has been asked this question, and he stated yes, you can, as a born-again man, take life in combat, meaning kill, and sleep like a baby, sleep like a baby at night. Because you're doing it without any hatred. You don't get that PTSD stuff. You're mentally strong and spiritually strong. You're not caught up in hatred and fear and jumping at every command from the corrupt leadership sometimes, all that stuff. So I shall assume that JLP would say yes, you can. But if you want me, why don't you ask him, man? You know you can do super chats on Jesse Lee Peterson Streamlabs. I don't quite get it, but I appreciate you giving me the super chats, man. Thank you. I shall say, someone born again can take a human life in combat, and Jesse Lee Peterson agrees. All right? If you want me to confirm with him, I shall try. But thank you, man. Thanks again for the generous super chat. Very cool. Before I get back to calls, guys, there's an attack upon Christians. Oops. An attack upon whites, men. Nice people, like I said. I got this from the internet. Podcast host, my competitor, Joe Rogan, says people hate actor Chris Pratt. You guys heard of Chris Pratt? Oh gosh, Chris Pratt. Because he's a Christian. As I recall, this Chris Pratt guy, he's an actor. He has appeared in like Guardians of the Galaxy, which I don't think I watched. I might have watched a movie that has him in it, one of those dumb Marvel movies. I didn't enjoy it. I don't like any of those Marvel movies. I don't think there's been one that I have liked. They're like SJW movies. And it has all this big, overblown, supposedly epic stuff at the end. You're like, this is boring. Chris Pratt, and it has betas, like that guy who played that green guy who's strong, Hulk. Chris Ruffalo, or Mark Ruffalo? Yeah, Mark Ruffalo. Dumb, evil liberals, suckers. Anyway, makes me want to spit. Maybe even cuss. Chris Pratt goes to that same liberal, I think, pro-BLM church, Hillsong. Does he not go to Hillsong? Right? Is it Hillsong? Is that the name of the church? Same church as Justin Bieber, the liberal, and other liberal celebrities, so-called Christians? Is he a real Christian? Whatever. But he is a Christian, so-called. You know who else is a Christian? I keep on doing these side notes, and people say, oh, this is destroying your channel, James. That woman who did Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling, she's supposedly a Christian, but she's a feminist evil woman. Anyway, I feel like this Chris Pratt guy is kissed up to blacks and or women, probably both, almost without a doubt to women. But the point stands. Daily Caller reports, this, I got it from the internet, but share a Daily Caller quote. On the podcast clip posted Tuesday on YouTube, Joe Rogan said Chris Pratt is the nicest guy he's ever met in his life. But the left attacks him because he, quote, believes in Jesus and is pretty open about it. He's a Christian, he's pretty open about it. He talked about meeting the movie star when the two went hunting for elk once, and Pratt is nice to everybody. Even Chris Pratt gets in trouble because he's Christian, Joe explained. His guest, Mike Beeple Winkleman, said the 42-year-old actor Chris Pratt is called the worst Chris in Hollywood by non-Christians, let's say. The internet says Pratt's wife divorced him last year, apparently, when he was 41. They have a son, I heard. Wow. Shameful, huh? But whites don't have compassion. Anyway. And the blacks, they were harsher slave owners because they learned it from the whites. Man, one more report. The FDA. I told you the FDA is evil. The far-left female run out, let the skim. The FDA is given a green light to mail-in abortion pills. Sick stuff. Food and Drug Administration, U.S. Food and Drug Administration, under Sleazy Joe. FDA, salute. Bless you. Gesundheit. Nice. I'm talking to somebody in the studio who sneezed. The FDA approved medication abortion in 2000. It involves taking 2 pills at least once a day, at least one day apart. Wow. About 40% of abortions in the United States are conducted this way. Wow. There are barriers. It was reportedly the only drug the FDA required people to go pick up from a medical provider, even though they can take them home without medical supervision. Take them at home without supervision. So amid the scamdemic, the FDA stopped enforcing the rule, allowing the pills to be mailed. Sick. Exploits evil. See, scamdemic. Kill the babies. Yesterday, they said they're making the change permanent. Some states are saying, not so fast. More than 12 Republican-led states have already tightened access to this medication. Medication to kill the babies in the womb. Banned the telehealth visits needed to get access to the pills. Meaning, like, you go Zoom or Skype your doctor, fake doctor. Doctors are supposed to do no harm. The decision means women may be able to skip long drives and access abortions online, by mail, or at pharmacies. Supreme Court's taking a magnifying glass in the meantime to Roe versus Wade. Shout out to Mississippi and Texas. If they overturn that ruling next year, drives to abortion clinics could become significantly longer. Republican states could sue against the FDA, right? Abortion pills are safe and effective, the skim says. Not for the baby. For years, women have had to jump through hoops to get access to them. A big step in reducing those hurdles, after yesterday's FDA announcement. So sick, huh? Evil women. Evil, sleazy Joe Biden administration. The Catholic Democrat express abortion, yeah. A sick world. A sick world. Anyway, let me get to Russ in Hampton, Virginia. Russ, how are you doing?
What's up, James? Hake?
Nothing much. How about you?
Well, actually, I disagree with you on a lot of stuff. But as I told your call screener, you've been pretty nice to me. And I just wanted to share with you and your audience that, I struggled along, but I've so far struggled for 57 years today.
Wow. You're 57, huh?
57 years old, yes, sir.
Well,
and in the words of my old minister when I was young growing up, I'm going to keep on keeping on.
Well,
as long as I can.
Happy birthday and congratulations, man.
I appreciate that. And like I said, I disagree with you on a lot of things, but you've been decent to me. And I try to be decent to those who are decent to me. Treat others as you have been treated.
Okay.
So
I think the line is supposed to be treat others how you would have them treat you.
Yeah, I'm cut from a different cloth. I change it up sometimes.
All right.
The boy Jesse Lee Peterson changes it up sometimes.
Whatever. Are you a Christian?
Yeah. Now, see, here we go. The last time I talked to you when I down this road,
I forget.
No, I am not.
Okay.
I grew up as a Christian, and then as I got older and began to be able to think for myself, I had to change.
Old people don't think for themselves.
See, here you go.
Anyway.
Here you go. Don't tell me what you think. Just because you think it means absolutely nothing except to you. So don't tell me that.
If it means nothing, then how come you're getting an attitude about it?
Because that's what you do. You think that what you think is gospel and true, and it's not.
Well, man, you eating more?
Absolutely not.
Oh, no?
Absolutely not. I got a refrigerator full of food. I just had groceries ordered 2 days ago, and I still don't even have the desire to get up, go to the kitchen and get it. Because I'm just not hungry. There's no motivation. I'm not hungry. So,
Well, man, I wish you well.
I try to change. Don't get me wrong. I try to change, but it's difficult when you're kind of used to a certain type of way.
Of course.
So I try to change it.
I get it.
It's a slow process. It really is.
Yeah.
And no, to your people on listening, I'm not on drugs or anything like that. That's not why I have a problem with my appetite. I've never had anything stronger than a joint, which I probably haven't had in 40 years. But
nice.
It's not drugs.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I consulted a doctor. I don't know what it is.
Well, you do have,
get hungry.
Not to be invasive or too personal, but don't you have some type of medication that you have to take or something?
They put me on. It's called an appetite stimulant. It's supposed to make you hungry.
Oh,
and
but it does not.
I had been on it for a while. It's the opposite of an appetite suppressant.
Right.
And I tried it, and I was on it for a while, but it didn't work. It didn't make me hungry. So because of the amount of medication I take for other stuff, that helps me.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm like, I don't want to have to take this if it's not doing anything for me.
Yeah.
So I did stop. But I did try, and they did put me on something to try to help. It just didn't work.
Wow, man.
So,
well, I definitely wish you well, Russ, and happy birthday.
I appreciate that.
And thank you for the
Mr. Hake.
call.
I'm planning a trip to. I'm planning a road trip to D.C. and New York to celebrate.
Really? Well,
Yes, sir.
Have you taken a road trip lately?
I have not. It's been a while.
You have company? Somebody to watch out for you?
I have somebody to watch out for me once I get there, but not on the way. I'm probably gonna take the Amtrak, take a train.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And I have friends in D.C. and I have friends in New York. So once I get there, I'm good. But
Okay. Well, watch yourself. Be wise and be careful, man.
I will. My only issue is I look kind of frail.
Right. And frail
'cause
people are
it's hard.
sometimes a target.
Say again?
Frail people are sometimes a target.
I understand that. I understand.
Yeah.
I look a lot more frail than I really am.
Okay.
But,
Yeah.
that's my only concern. I don't want somebody to think, that they're a young whippersnapper and they can go ahead and take advantage of this old man, because then it'll get kind of messy, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But no, I appreciate your concerns, and I thank you for that, that word of wisdom. But I'll be fine.
Okay. Let me know how it goes.
Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. I'm not trying to hold you up. I know you got a lot of people that want to talk to you today. So.
It's nice to hear from you, Russ.
All right, man. You be safe, all right?
All right. Merry Christmas.
All right, Merry Christmas to you. Keep on doing what you're doing.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Bye. Wow. Let me get to a first-time caller. Oh, you know what? Hang on, first-time caller. I have Jim in Tennessee coming right up. I want to get to, it is the top of the hour. I have to get to some music, guys. This is from Sufjan Stevens. It's from Hark, Songs for Christmas. He put out EPs and sent them to his friends every Christmas for a while. Took the year off to make Illinois. Come on, feel the Illinois. This track is entitled Once in David's Royal City. I hope you like it. Enjoy. I'll be right back for hour 2, and we will get to your calls. Hang tight.
Once in royal David City stood a lowly cattle shed, where a mother laid her baby in a manger for his bed. Mary was that mother mild, Jesus Christ, her little child. He came down to earth from heaven, who is God and Lord of all, and his shelter was a stable, and his cradle was a stall. With the poor, oppressed and lowly, lived on earth our Savior holy. And our eyes at last shall see him through his own redeeming love. For that child so dear and gentle, is our Lord in heaven above, and he leads his children on to the place where he is gone.
Isn't this nice? This music is proof that Hake hates us, says Daisy. This music, I want to wear my Birkenstocks, Arizona Dust says. I bet they did not sell many albums. Oh, I like Sufjan Stevens. Sister Winter is my favorite, says Chimchat. Nice. Kick out the Sufjams. 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 Play some Leonard Skinner, man. Hake, play Clapton White Christmas, man. People chatting about RUSS' call. He'll find some good food, at least in D.C. International cuisine of all types. One of the few good things about the yuppie coast, says Viewer USA. Russ, get your blood tested, says Gucci Flare. Recommends Gucci Flare. Eat some tamales. Anyway, thank you guys. Appreciate it. I have some super chats to read as well. Lord Baby 42 says, Hake, you can't casually mention actor Mark Ruffalo without mentioning his love for being blanked on by blank. I'm not aware of that, Lord Baby 42. And I wouldn't want to mention that. That's his business. If true. Horrific. Terrible things going on. Daisy 1350 with a super chat over there on Odyssey. I neglected to read this, but you know how Nevada was formed accepted into the Union? Pro-Lincoln Nevada, 9 days before the Lincoln's re-election? Shenanigans. She states, Nevada is corrupt. Did you see they changed the name of the airport from McCarran to Harry Reid International Airport? Corrupt Senator Harry Reid with the black eye? Sickening. Have you ever seen Harry Reid's black eye? Senator Harry Reid. Was a sleazy politician. I think he's alive, but out of office. Thank God, out of office. Yeah, Harry Reid. He's the one behind the BLM, Bureau of Land Management, not to be confused with Black Lives Matter. Basically the same thing. Stealing the whites' land, stealing the private land of the Americans and giving it to like China or something, Chinese people or companies or whatever. Harry Reid, that's his suspicion anyway. That's what was the suspicion. Remember the Nevada standoff at Bundy Ranch? Harry Reid was part of that. He was the senator from Nevada. Wow, Daisy. I didn't know they renamed an airport from McCarran, whoever that is. Probably an relatively honorable man compared to Harry Reid. International Airport. Ridiculous. Wow. Anyway. Let me get right to this call. I faked like I was gonna go to before the beautiful Sufjan Stevens liberal Christmas song music. Here is Jim from Tennessee, first time caller. What's up, Jim? How are you?
Doing, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thank you, man.
Hey, do you consider yourself an honest man?
Yeah.
Because I heard you talk about America and it being the greatest country on the planet. You just give me one. I like it.
You're going in and out.
I agree with your message.
Are you on an Obama phone?
Hear me now?
Yep. Your phone is going in and out, man. Sometimes it just goes completely silent. I don't. When you said, "Can you hear me now?" What?
Sorry, because I got up for a minute, but I'm sitting down now. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better, I think, hopefully. Stay like that. Don't move.
Oh.
No, this is bad, Jim.
Yeah.
It's bad. I can't hear you now. The heck? I told you don't move. No, I don't know if you're moving or if you just have a horrible signal. Inconsistent signal. Sometimes it's not anything he's doing, you know? It's just where you are, Jim. Your phone's messed up. Are you there? He's not there.
Yeah, did he?
I'm going to have to put you on hold, Jim, because I can't deal with this. Putting Jim on hold, check on... Oh, man, he just disappeared. Whatever. Sorry, Jim. I really wanted to... I think he was asking me to do... And I don't know if this is a black or a white. Nick didn't hang up. He hung up. Or else he got disconnected. Tennessee. Probably it's in the mountains, says Radulaser. I've been to Tennessee. It wasn't all mountains. Outside, I want to say Memphis. Rural, but a little rolling hills, but not mountains. But I guess that there's mountains over there, too. It's a big state, relatively. Yeah, he wanted to ask about, you said America is the greatest country or something like that? I don't know. But thank you, man. Call again if you can. In the meantime, let me get to Frank in Virginia. Frank, how are you doing, man?
Not too bad, Mr. Hake. How are you?
Doing fine. Thank you, sir.
Hey, I just want to hit you on a couple of things here.
Okay.
It's funny this guy's from Tennessee. I'm going to talk about somebody from Tennessee. One, I wanted to say I don't listen to your show as much anymore because my hours change at work.
Okay.
I'll put on your thing, give you a thumbs up. Same as you and Jesse. I try and watch you a little bit here and there.
Well, thanks for the support. That's cool.
No doubt, man. I want to spread the word because I want you guys to grow, and I see you're growing, and I want it to happen. But and man, you're sharp. You see through a lot of stuff. You really do. You see through a lot of stuff so fast being so young. But I want to, this thing you did last week on John Wayne and not seeing one of his movies, man, come on now. You got to watch some of his movies.
Yeah.
You just have to, some of his movies. And then third, real quick, because I know you got stuff going. I called you on the 13th of July. The reason why I know this is I forgot to mention when I was telling you about Bedford Forrest, and you had something on him last week. You remember?
Nathan Bedford Forrest. Yeah, they tore down some of his... They've been tearing down his monuments, some much better than others.
Right. You had all this stuff on him.
Yeah.
But I called you on the 13th, and I forgot to mention that was a Tennessee state holiday. I forgot to mention that when I first brought this up on your show.
Okay.
And, that was one thing. But two, everybody knows what a great commander and general he was. But
yeah,
the thing, everybody brings up this KKK thing. Now listen, you hit stuff on the head with we don't know the way things were during Reconstruction and
right.
Look, but just tell your viewers and for yourself. I want you to look up his speech at the Pole Bearers Association in Memphis. I want you to look up his speech. Those are words that are written that he actually had said, and then I want you to look up his surrender speech to his troops to surrender after the war was over. And I want you to just ask yourself, was he would a Klansman say these things? Somebody full of hate and
yeah.
He was a multimillionaire that lost more, gave everything to the cause, and lost everything. And he was able to tell his men. You'll see it in there that he tells his men to throw down your hate and your animosity and become good citizens. Submit to the powers that be. In a short,
okay.
That's basically what he says.
Yeah.
And then he says, I've never done anything. I've never asked you men to do anything I wasn't willing to do myself. He was just a great man there. And then when he was invited to this group, which was like a front runner to the NAACP for blacks' rights, to vote and everything else, and everybody's going to say, "Oh, they want him to be Democrat," whatever it is. He even says, "I'm not telling you how to vote. I want you to vote and be a good citizen." But he was invited to. Would somebody's lynching and burning and doing all these things be invited to speak at a place like this?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so but just look them up for yourself.
Okay.
And just if anybody's listening, look that up. And
so you told me to. Is this the Jubilee of Pole Bearers? Speech during a meeting of the Jubilee of Pole Bearers? P-O-L-E bearers?
Yes.
Like flagpole?
Yeah, I think that's what's like
handlers?
election. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I shall look that up. Thank you, man.
But it's good information, and just for you, just because, like I said, the guy's been slandered, and
I know.
I was glad to see you brought him up again, and just for people to look that up themselves, and
yeah.
I do like the fact that you say we don't know these things.
Right.
We weren't there.
Yep.
We were not there, but. When, I said it before that you see them going one way with something with an agenda, well, what are you doing this for?
Yeah.
There's a purpose they're doing it, and you just want you want as much truth as you can, but don't, it doesn't matter anyway. Don't live your life like this. I like the fact that Jesse and you guys are saying, don't, remember the past, but don't be stuck in it.
Yeah. Yep. Cool, man. Thank you for the tips. It's great to hear from you again.
God bless you and Jesse.
Thank you, sir. All right, Frank. That's cool. Merry Christmas. Let me get back to Jim in Tennessee, see if he's ready. He called back. I appreciate it. Jim in Tennessee, how are you?
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Let's do this.
Great. Well, my question for you is, can you give me one example of why America is the greatest country on the planet? Just one.
Well, first of all, are you making the accusation that I've made that claim?
Well, it's really not an accusation. I heard you talk about it yesterday. You guys were talking about Native Indians or something. You mentioned how you guys created and founded the greatest country. I'm a fan of your show, by the way. Hey, I'm not trying to
nice.
I'm not trying to,
But I don't know if that's not my language. I don't tend to say that. If I've said it, it might have been a slip because that's more like a cliche or it's something Jesse Lee Peterson does say, and he means it, but it's not something that I tend to say. But
okay. So you don't agree?
I'm not saying I don't agree. It's just something that I don't know that I've said, but it's not something. It's not one of my points that I go to.
You said it.
You're claiming that I've said it, but I don't know if I've said it.
No, you just got to listen to the show from yesterday.
I mean, I'm the one who speaks it most of the time. I know what I'm saying, I think. But okay, let's say that I'm not going to disagree with JLP that it is the greatest country in the world. It was founded by Christians and honorable men, even those who maybe weren't Christians. They were, on the whole, honorable men who wanted what was right, and it was free. And to this day, we have the freedom of speech. That's a great thing. And the freedom of speech is for, we're supposed to have freedom of speech. So, it's a Christian nation.
My question to you is, how do we have freedom of speech if they assassinated John F. Kennedy, if they assassinated Martin Luther King, if they assassinated, the list goes on, right?
Who's they? We don't know the situation we still have the principle of the freedom of speech, and there are more men today in America who have the spirit of the freedom of speech, well, although it's only a handful. And all the men of the world who value what's right, love America and wish the best for America because we're a Christian nation and we're for the freedom of speech and we're for men. America is one of the only countries in the world, one of the last developed countries in the world that still rejects the climate hype. So there's a lot to be grateful for about America.
I hear you, Hake. The only thing I have a problem with is how you guys focus so much on the border problems. You guys talk about there's no such thing as racism, one human race. But you guys,
we never say there's. I mean, occasionally you'll hear JLP say there's one human race, but that's not his point about there's no such thing as racism.
Wait, hey, you can't think. Why do you keep bringing up talking to not Jesse?
You're the one repeating stuff that Jesse says, and then you're also throwing in stuff that we don't really tend to say.
No, I never said any of this. I'm saying that we're supposed to live like it's one race. But
no.
Listen, The
Whatever.
The executive of PlayStation.
We're not supposed to live like it's one race. We're not supposed to fall in for this fake diversity stuff. What the heck?
Well, forgive me.
Yeah.
Forgive me. The PlayStation executive just got caught in a pedophile thing, and they don't bring light to that. But
I have no idea. You know what? Your accent's thick. Your phone is not clear. What did you just say?
Can you hear me, Hake?
A little bit.
I was saying that the executive of the PlayStation Sony company, one of the executives of PlayStation, got caught in the pedophile thing, and they're not talking about it or bringing light, but they want to talk about there's something, Hake.
You're cutting out.
Oh, it's the body.
Your phone's messed up. Your phone's a mess.
They don't want to see.
What's your point? Are you trying to say that we're focusing on the wrong things?
Not you, Hake. Just hear me out as a country.
Your phone's a mess, Jim. I cannot understand you. You're coming in and out.
It's the Hake. They can tell you the truth and the peace.
Can you guys understand him?
CIA.
The CIA got caught being into child pornography or something. Yeah.
The Steve cutting off my connection so they don't let people
Dude, you're in Tennessee. The CIA doesn't care about you. I mean, if they knew about you and you were a big enough threat, yeah. If you had Nick Fuentes' audience, they'd care about you.
Hake.
Jim.
So you're not listening to what I'm trying to say?
I can't even understand what you're trying to say.
Because the CIA is cutting us off, Hake. You're not listening to what I'm trying to tell you, Hake. The PlayStation executive just got caught in a pedophile thing, Hake.
Yeah, I mentioned that.
Cut me off. You guys don't speak the truth. You're liars. You're liars.
What a psycho. You think he's black? Fake accent? Yeah, probably. Do you think that he's a black guy? Anyway. Before I get back to calls, it was cute. It was cute. Jim from Tennessee. I don't know if it sounded like he's a fake because he switched on us. Now he's calling us liars. Wig Nat Nut Job, says your girlfriend. Too many chicken bones in his diet. Psycho. Great call, though. Great call, says 903,000. No, but I reported on the CIA thing. I mean, I mentioned it in passing. I'm not that into pedophiles. If he's into pedophiles, okay. Speaking of that mess, speaking of the attack on children, though, let me tell you about this transgender lawsuit. I saw this on the internet. The internet, there's places in the internet that are made by Americans, Christians, whites, men, who they have to go like outside of the country to get a server. Oh my gosh. Like an .su instead of .com or something. Crazy. Anyway, this is from the internet. Transgender to get $4 million in a court judgment, I guess. Yeah, or a jury. After being refused entry to the boys' bathroom. This is from RT, Russia Today. The internet shares this. A shout out to the internet. Great source. A Missouri jury, Missouri of all places, it was ruled that a school district owes more than $4 million to a male transgender student who sued for sex discrimination. Female to male, I'm so confused because they don't tell you the truth. Sued for sex discrimination after being denied the use of the boys' bathrooms and the locker rooms. So is it a girl pretending to be a boy? I don't know. I assume so. Or maybe if it's a boy who's dressing up like a girl and then he tries to go into the boys' bathroom, but he's dressed up like a girl, it's a perv. We don't want it. Well, seems perverted, right? I don't know. I do know. The Jackson County jury decided Monday that the unnamed student was discriminated against based on his sex. Fake ideas. Thanks, Obama. Obama did this stuff, too. They called it Title IX stuff, anti-discrimination laws. Hake is buffering on purpose again, says Missy over there on D Live. According to the complaint, the student registered a legal name change in 2010. This is over 11 years ago. Updated the birth certificate in 2014 to reflect so-called his new name and gender. So it's a female, I think, pretending to be a male, is my guess. Though the state recognized the student as a boy, so-called, the Delta Woods Middle School in Blue Springs denied him, meaning her, probably, the use of the boys' locker room because it's a woman. It's a little girl. So-called little. Due to having female genitalia. Oh, my gosh. Said the lawsuit filed in 2015. And now 6 years later, the school required the student to use a single-person unisex restroom, okay, outside the locker room. How about expel the, anyway. Put them in the crazy house. Anyway, her. While participating in 8th grade boys football and track teams, according to court documents. The lawsuit alleged the student felt singled out, you think, and inferior to other boys due to the exclusion. Because you're not even a boy. Shameful. By the way, last month, Wisconsin parents sued the school district. You may have heard about this on the Jesse Lee Peterson show, I think. I'm not sure. For allowing kids to switch genders without parental consent. Evil. Earlier this month, according to the internet, in Canada, and I mentioned this before, Justin Trudeau, the male feminist, Sophie and I are proud feminists, this Trudeau guy says, he wants to criminalize any kind of therapy for sexual deviance. And look at this YouTube video about conversion therapy. It's crazy. Well, I mean, I have not seen this before. I guess it's not that shocking. You know how YouTube will tag a link to like the CDC or Wikipedia or some other liberal platform? Well, to like say you talk about climate change. So they put a little climate change thing. Or you talk about the election. It says Joe Biden was rightfully won president. Or you talk about some topic that's supposedly controversial and they put their side on. Well, talking about conversion therapy, this is from Campaign Life TV, a YouTube channel, presumably conservative Christian. Trudeau liberals admit conversion therapy ban can put parents and pastors in jail. Wow. That is a shocking title, but also shocking. And it was out December 1st of this year. Is that what it says? I don't know. But also shocking is this note right up underneath the video. It says context. They put a context tag. And it's courtesy of the Trevor Project, a radical homosexual so-called nonprofit, I think, that pretends to save the gays from committing suicide, young gays from committing suicide. And they blame it on conversion therapy and bullying and all that stupid stuff, rather than the real thing, which they know they're wrong and they're miserable. And this is enabling and propping them up, encouraging them in their evil, in their wrong. Conversion therapy, sometimes referred to as reparative therapy, it's called gay conversion therapy or LGBT reparative therapy, is any of several dangerous and discredited practices aimed at changing an individual's sexual orientation or gender identity. So they're putting radical homosexual, agitative, activist, anti-Christian notes as fact underneath videos, factual videos from Campaign Life TV. Justin Trudeau's Attorney General, the Honorable David Lametti, and other liberal ministers have made revealing remarks about how Bill C-4 up in Canada and previous incarnations of the so-called conversion therapy ban can result in putting parents in jail for up to 5 years merely for parenting their children according to their religious or moral beliefs. And this is from Campaign Life Coalition, pro-life organization. Crazy, huh? Campaign Life on Twitter, if you want to follow them, or on Facebook, Campaign Life Coalition. Campaign Life TV is their YouTube channel. Ridiculous, huh? YouTube, Google. Google is evil. So fake. Let me get to Bill in California. He wants to talk about some interesting stuff in politics right now. What's up, Bill? How are you? Bill, I cannot hear you. Hold on. Let me put him on hold. We'll check on Bill. In the meantime, let me tell you about this other story before I get back to calls. The lines are filling up, guys. There's one line open. Yeah, he didn't answer me. I heard a bunch of clicking. Fake Christians are kissing up to women in blacks. I told you yesterday, I think, right, about Bell Hooks, the black feminist who died at the tender age of 69. Look at this headline. I will get to Bill shortly here. Look at this headline from Relevant Magazine about Bell Hooks. This is supposed to be a Christian outlet. Iconic black feminist and public intellectual, Bell Hooks. And they lowercase letters her name, because she wants to be special, has passed away. The trailblazing public intellectual who shaped much of current conversation around race, gender, class, and justice in the United States has passed away from end-stage renal failure, her family said. She was 69 years old. Relevant Magazine, a so-called Christian outlet. It's radical, liberal, anti-racist, anti-white, anti-Christian, honestly. Here's some quotes from this evil woman. A little bit more about this evil woman, Bell Hooks. The moment we choose love, we begin to move against domination, against oppression. Melodrama. She was born in Kentucky. She had a fine life. She wrote, the moment we choose love, we begin to move towards freedom, to act in ways that liberate ourselves and others, she said. Loving blackness. That's what she means by love. She didn't have real love. She spent her life and career arguing that love was not only or even primarily a feeling, but an action. Love is a verb. Remember that Christian song from the DC talk? Born and raised in rural Kentucky as Gloria Jean Watkins. Beautiful name. Dr. Hooks. Took the name Bell Hooks, deliberately styled lowercase to signify her interest in putting attention on her writing instead of herself. Yeah, right. I don't know anything of her writing. I only know that she goes by all lowercase. Silly woman. Am I right? Never heard of her until now, says Germanic Spaniard. Yeah. Only in the liberal academic world. The name originally belonged to her great-grandmother, a sharp-tongued woman, according to her, a woman who spoke her mind, a woman who was not afraid to talk back. That's according to this evil woman, Gloria Jean Watkins, Dr. Bell Hooks. She said taking the name helped connect her to this legacy of defiance, of will, of courage, affirming my link to female ancestors who were bold and daring in their speech. Fake. What a phony woman. Imagine having a man. Imagine Trump changing his name, playing God to conjure up fake courage. Trump dealt with more attacks and evil from around the world. Even his own friends and family, close friends and close family, and enemies than this woman. And Trump did it with a smile. Dr. Hooks would often refer to the world we live in as being dominated by an imperialist, white supremacist, capitalist patriarchy. That's real. It sounds like real love, right? Hating America, whites, men, deluded person. She called herself a Buddhist Christian. No. Claimed to have grounding in ethical spiritual values, hyphenated spiritual values, as solid ground. She said feminism helped her find the good as a young woman. Intellectual women, right? Daughters of Satan. Worshippers of the servant. Deceived and being deceived. Just had to share that with you. Speaking of deceived women, real quick, before I get back to Bill in California, Michelle Kwan. I have this little headline from the Washington Compost. I didn't know she's only 41. She's like this figure skater woman, Olympics or something like that. Biden is propping her up in response, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. After she helped to work in Belize. She's going to be like the ambassador of Belize or something like that, or for Belize. Look, Biden nominates former Olympic skater Michelle Kwan as ambassador to Belize. Kwan, age 41, joined then Democrat presidential candidate Sleepy Biden's campaign in 2019 as director of surrogates. So she was a little educated Asian woman leader over all the people who are talking heads for Biden. Dumb, evil woman. Educated women. Educated Asian women, no less. They're not sweet. You people who think, oh, the Asian women are sweet and submissive. Anyway, let me get to Bill in California. Thank you, Bill. I hope that you are ready now. How are you doing, Bill? Put her on ice, says Joseph461. Bill, what is wrong with your phone? Sorry about that click, that loud click, guys. Is Bill a boomer? Let me get to John in Kentucky. John, how are you doing?
Bill, what is wrong with your phone, Bill?
Yeah. I'll handle Bill. You leave him alone. That's my caller to deal with.
Hey, I listen to your show every day.
Nice.
For entertainment.
I appreciate it.
To listen to the BS, right?
Well, I'm glad to know that a white can be entertaining too.
All you do is cry about gays, blacks, women, and liberals. Everything is crime.
You know why? You know why you think that? Is because you lack.
I mean, that's what it is. That's
no.
That's what it is.
You lack. What is that called? Discernment, or not quite discernment. You lack spiritual sight. Spiritual sight. At one point I used to think all rap sounds the same. All rap sounds the same, and that's you. That's you on my show. All you do is cry about women, gays, blacks.
Hey, man, I wish I know how to put together a video of you crying about the same thing every single day, man.
I have never cried in my life.
I don't mean literal tears.
Thank you.
I mean like being a whiny baby.
Whatever.
I mean, that's pretty much what your show is about, right?
Well, thank you for listening to it every day. It's entertaining, even though it's the same thing.
I need to step away from it, but it's kind of like my routine now. When I eat my lunch, I listen to your show.
Gotcha, man. Appreciate it.
But hey, man, I heard you and Jeremiah talking earlier, and I get excited also when these big events happen, like this white on white crime y'all committing overseas.
It's not crime; it's war.
Because the end is near. Man. And
we will bow. Are we going to bow? Are the whites going to bow to the Israelites, the Black Hebrew Israelites?
Eventually.
I thought we're only supposed to bow to Jesus, the King.
You will first.
Ashkenazi Jesus.
Some of us are going to own y'all.
Ashkenazi Jesus.
No, it's no such thing.
Yeah, that's the only
They're
one.
Imposters. They're imposters.
He's the one true King.
Vengeance is mine, said the Lord. So
right.
After that last war that Jeremiah was talking about, and we're going to have all this troubling time, Jesus is going to come back, and he's going to put everything back in order. He's going to fix it. And when he fixes it, everything's reverse roles, Hake. You'll be at the bottom now.
I'm already at the bottom. We are already.
No,
the whites are already on the margins. Not. Yes, we are. Oh, yes, we are. You have no clue.
No, you're not. You're losing.
Did you know that the only American who is banned from having a website in his own country is a white Christian man? Did you know that?
Just one person?
Yeah, whites. Whites are more marginalized than anybody in America. You have no clue what you're talking about, John. You're blind.
What kind of white man? I mean, because
whites in general are the ones who are being censored on social media. They're the ones being gone after by the federal government. They're being gone after by the establishment, commie capitalist big corporations. They're kissing up to blacks like you.
Big words like that. But I
the corporations.
You talk about
the corporations hate whites.
You're talking about the racist white.
No such thing as racism. Yes, the whites who love the truth.
You're talking about those who love to say all the negative things about all the different races.
By racist you mean decent, honest Christian whites.
No, I mean hateful people who think whites should rule everything and everybody else.
You're the hateful person, and you think whites should rule everything.
You are the hateful person. That's why you
complain.
I'm not
hateful.
That's why this is.
If I were hateful, you wouldn't listen to me.
That's why this is the Crybaby Hake Report.
If I were hateful, you wouldn't be able to stand listening to me?
Dude, I listen to you and Jesse all the time.
Yeah, because we are loving, truthful.
Caucasian people that agree with you.
Whatever. No, we love blacks too. Blacks love us too.
You do not love black people.
Yeah, I do. You're very entertaining.
Come live in my community, then. Come live in my community. Come to the cookout.
You're inviting me to the cookout?
Yeah, come to the cookout.
What's for dinner?
You'd be shaking in your boots.
Why would I be shaking in my boots?
Because you're afraid of black people.
You never relax. You're never supposed to relax around the blacks because sometimes they commit violence. Black on white crime is out of control. Black on black crime is out of control. Blacks are like 6 times as likely to commit murder. Did you know that? In America.
Man, boy, you have your talking points. Do you have like a list in front of you when you look down, or you just memorize them?
It's a known fact.
But you shouldn't look at all black people the same. Yeah, you should keep your guard up. You should keep your guard up.
Yeah.
But even if you see a black that you've never met before, you shouldn't think they're a criminal already.
I'm not thinking that they're a criminal. It's risk assessment. You got to watch yourself.
Well, you need to watch those white men that look regular to you that are killing everybody too. So, I mean, do you have your guard up with the
these imaginary white men. Yeah, okay.
Well, I mean, who else does all the shooting up in public places?
Blacks are doing it too, man. Blacks and
black people kill each other, man.
Hispanics and
black people kill each other.
And whites. Blacks kill twice as many whites as whites kill blacks every year. Look it up.
Yeah, but
I'm
talking about white. I'm talking about whites.
I know that's why I avoid crowds, because a lot of the Muslims who are counted as white. A lot of the Muslims who are counted as white, sometimes they're committing.
Caucasian.
Oh no, you don't even know what Caucasian means.
Caucasian is you.
No, you don't know that. I don't even know that.
Caucasian is you, man. That's
I'm American.
That's where you come from.
I don't come from there. I was born in West Covina.
And yeah, man, you were saying America was great. So was Babylon. But, you know, America is the most evil place.
No, America was great because America was good.
America was not good.
Yes,
America was evil. It was good for whites. Don't get me wrong. Y'all had it good. Y'all had slaves.
And the blacks never had it so good as here in America.
You crazy?
Have the blacks had it?
Your mind.
Have the blacks had it so good as anywhere else than America?
See, that's the thing, Hake.
You've never had it so good,
and
you're complaining. Whine.
Like a jungle.
That's all you ever do.
Y'all think Africa is like a jungle, just
and
one
huts.
big jungle.
And huts.
It's not jungle and huts. You have beautiful cities over there, man. You have beautiful cities over there.
I know. Thanks to South Africa, we built up a great country, and now you people are destroying it.
South Africa is doing what we're going to do to y'all, Hake.
I know. So
get ready for that. Get ready for that.
You should not celebrate. That's not good for blacks. Blacks are not doing well. Are you aware that blacks are not? Hold on, John. Are you aware that blacks are not doing well in South Africa?
I'm not over-talking. Hey, but it's going to get worse before it gets better, Hake.
No,
it's
sir.
Get worse before, yes.
Blacks were doing better under apartheid than they are today in South Africa.
No, sir.
Yes, sir. The black-on-black crime is out of control. The black AIDS epidemic is kind of bad, I think. It's going to get better. It's not going to get better under this communist atheism that the blacks are doing.
What you say is communist. Nobody cares about that talk.
Oh, yes, they do.
I'm telling you what
Communism is lies. Under these lying atheist, anti-white people are also no good for the blacks. You have no clue what you're talking about. Because when you have hatred, you do worse.
I tell you what.
When you have hatred for the whites, you do worse for yourself.
It's not hatred.
Yes, it is hatred.
It's not hatred.
Yes, it is. It's revenge. You just said revenge is mine, says the Lord. And then you're like, oh, whites getting it back, what they got, what they put out, which is not even true.
It's going to be good.
Which is not even true, John. You're a mess.
It is true. The Bible is true.
You don't even know what the Bible. You don't even know what the Bible says.
Me and Jeremiah are going to group up together, and we're going to come rattle you
Jeremiah
up.
and I.
Well, look, I don't have to speak that correct English for you to understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you're not an English teacher. You were a substitute teacher. I saw on the internet you was a substitute teacher.
Yeah, were. Yeah, I made a little brown kid cry.
So, man, Are you poor, man?
Because
you're bitter, man. It's like you don't make enough money or something. You need to change profession.
No, I'm not interested in money. I'm not interested in money that much. I'm happy. I'm content.
And you're not interested in money. You're not interested in women. What kind of life do you want, man? You just want to complain all the time.
I mean, I'm mildly interested in money. I'm interested in women, but I'm not just caught up in my. I don't think because he didn't have sex out of wedlock, he's a loser.
Man, you can quit saying the wed. You don't have to be out there having sex, but you have to be interested in women to.
I don't have to be, but I am, but I don't have to be. What the heck?
Well, the Lord tells us that we have to be fruitful and multiply. And you're saying, no, Lord, I'm not going to multiply. I'm scared.
You don't know me.
That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying, though.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of evil women out there. You got to keep your eyes peeled. You can't just get with any old woman.
Yeah, but hey, you're on the internet all the time. You have women calling your show, man. I'm pretty sure
I'm not going to hit on women from calling my show. What the heck?
Well,
I'm not going to go on the internet and look for a woman.
You're going to be Jesse's age. You're going to be just like Jesse. You're going to have a woman.
Jesse's the happiest man I know.
That's what you think. When he goes home, it's probably a different story.
No, you're speculating.
Well, I can speculate because I don't want to be 70 and alone, staring at four walls.
So a woman is your God, is what you're telling me.
No, it's not my God.
Yeah, it is, because you can't be happy without a woman.
God gave us a woman, man. What are you talking about? They're a blessing to us.
Oh, yeah, okay. You can't be happy without a woman. Yeah. This reminds me of, I used to listen to Christian music.
Happy's not real, Hake. Happy's not real, remember?
I know. You can't be satisfied without a woman. You need a woman to be happy because you're seeking happiness.
Happiness is not real.
I know. You're seeking fake stuff. Just like you're a fake Israelite, you have fake happiness from a fake woman.
Companionship. And you're a fake
companionship.
You're a fake interviewer and you're a fake man.
And you love it. You eat it up every day.
Angry.
And it's very entertaining. I gotta go, man.
Entertaining. Yes, entertaining.
It's hot in here. Too much hot air.
Fake.
All right, thanks, man.
Yeah, man.
All right. Merry Christmas, Grinch.
Humbug. I don't believe in that crap. Nice. That's for white people. And y'all can hang y'all's gold and silver on y'all's trees. I don't care nothing about it.
All right. Better than hanging other things and people on trees. Thanks, man.
What? Say what?
I said better than hanging other things and people on trees. I thought you were going to say hang something on trees.
You're racist, man. You're so racist.
It's not racist. It's funny.
God's going to get you, man.
Jokes are funny, man. Calm down.
God is going to get you. God is going to
We didn't just hang. Okay, so we didn't hang innocent blacks. We hanged people who were.
Y'all hung families, man. Men, women, and kids. Y'all hung
suspected
families.
of rape, robbery, and murder. And
kids also?
Occasionally, maybe. I don't know. I don't endorse
evil, hey?
I don't endorse every lynching.
Evil.
I'm just saying that it wasn't all what you guys say it was.
I hope you know in the Bible says we're going to do y'all the same way. We're going to bash y'all's kids.
And are you going to? So how are you judging me then?
Because you're evil.
Okay, we thought the same way of you.
I'm telling you,
and we were right.
Said. Well, not God, but
thank
Jesus.
You, man.
Gotta
go, man.
Right. Payback is coming.
You should not wish for that. Take care, John.
It's going to come. It's going to come.
All right.
Vengeance is mine, said the Lord.
All right, gotta go. What a crazy thing. You know, that reminds me of this Christian band called Supertones. You ever heard? Oh, okay, never mind. Don't even want to bring it up. It was a Christian like ska band. Ska was this Jamaican music, right? And then the punks are like a bunch of anti-racist people. So to signify that they're some of the punks, right? To signify they're anti-racist, they get into ska or reggae, dumb stuff like that, right? Well, there was some Christian ska called the Supertones, and I remember a couple of lines from a couple of their songs. This singer guy, this guy sang at the end of one song, "I start to pray, and I ask God for a wife." Reminds me of what John said. He thinks that, oh, God gave me this wife. And then later on in another song, he says, maybe it was a prior song, but he said, "God gives me gifts, just look at my ring," meaning his wedding ring. And then later, I heard through the grapevine that he got divorced. So much for that gift from God. He was all into praying for a woman, and he got a woman, and then he got a wife, and then it was divorced. What a mess. The wrong values. What a terrible shame. Anyway, isn't that interesting? The Stop Woke Act, guys, in the last 10 minutes here before I get to the last calls, if I can, if I have the time. Conservative establishment-friendly Christopher Rufo, you've heard of him probably on Twitter if you've maybe seen him on Fox News. He's on board with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' Stop Woke Act. Stop Woke is wrongs to our kids and employees. W-O-K-E. Wrongs to our kids, employees. The Stop Woke Act will go on the offense against corporate wokeness and critical race theory in our schools and in the corporations. Because they're basically saying, oh, you're discriminating against the whites and against the men. Well, I don't know if it's against the men, too. But it is pretty feminist and evil, right? So here's a clip shared by Christina Pushaw of Ron DeSantis talking about how he sees this critical race theory stuff. It's about 40 seconds long, 48 seconds. Listen to this.
And I think what you see now with the rise of this woke ideology is an attempt to really delegitimize our history and to delegitimize our institutions. And I view the wokeness as a form of cultural Marxism. They want to tear...
Cultural Marxism.
They want to just, it's not just, people say, oh, they're leftists or socialists. It's not just like taxes and all that. Yeah, they do want that, and that's not good. But they really want to tear at the fabric of our society and our culture and things that really we've taken for granted, like the ability of parents to direct the upbringing of their kids.
Whites, men, and Christians, and logic, and decency, and America. They hate America. He's right about that. The dumb, deceived people saying CRT is not taught in schools. I think I have a compilation of a bunch of no, hold on. Did I put it in the folder? Oh, inside of this Stop Woke Act thing? Oh, yeah, he mentioned, what is that term? Cultural Marxism. That's past the anti-Semitic point of no return. According to this conspiracy chart that I showed you a few weeks back, Ron DeSantis mentioned cultural Marxism, and that's world ruled by shadow elite promotes hatred and violence towards marginalized groups conspiracy theory, according to this woman. This is that conspiracy chart that I made an edited version of it, which was true, but George Soros, New World Order, Great Replacement, QAnon, Deep State, Cultural Marxism, Pizzagate, Bill Gates, Illuminati, Hollywood run by turning your kids gay, Holocaust, stuff like that. Anyway, interesting. But CRT in education, it is. If you look at this CRT in education, like Christopher Rufo tweeted this out in response to some dumb liberal guy who's a late night host or something. Foundations of critical race theory in education. Critical race theory matters, and education ideology. There's this guy, Tyrone C. Howard, who wrote a foreword for critical race theory in teacher education, informing classroom culture and practice. Tyrone C. Howard was on the Jesse Lee Peterson show before, and I think he might have been the guy, oh no, he wasn't, who said that the blacks were begging for tough on crime stuff back in the 80s and 90s. Critical race theory and mathematics education, all these books. And this stuff is, you've heard teachers pushing this fake racism stuff on the children. They say that they do it on camera, according to like man on the street interviews with college-educated young dumb teachers, right? It's ridiculous. And there's cases after cases after cases. I'll put that in my in my blog post for this thing. I don't have time to get to R.A. the Rugged Man, but R.A. the Rugged Man was was a former guest on the Jesse Lee Peterson show, and he had an outburst against that punk. He called him something else. Tim Pool. Tim Pool did this anti-racist video or documentary about the people suffering in Ferguson. It's fake. They're suffering because they've set themselves up to fail. They live to fail. Maybe I'll show it next week. I don't know. Anyway, let me get to Joe in Portland, Oregon in the last few minutes here. Joe, how are you doing?
I'm good. How you doing, Hake?
No man is good. I'm fine. Thank you, sir.
I just wanted to comment regarding that last caller. I think his name was Jeremiah or John or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was so racist and just a horrible person.
Yeah.
And, I mean, saying that they're going to get back at whites and that they're going to do terrible things to whites. I mean, what a horrible, horrible person to say that.
Well, I mean, that's how people do. They get deluded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, blacks, I hear a lot of blacks saying these things, and they don't know that I can hear them say them. I overhear conversations. And I hear a lot of them say this stuff.
Yeah.
And they don't think we know, but we're onto them. We know that they're saying this stuff.
Right.
And that the racism against white people is rampant in the black community.
Yeah, and in the mainstream media and in the government.
Oh yeah.
They don't. Yeah, the blacks don't hide it, and nor honestly do the females who get in the government and the female-minded liberals and the rhinos.
Yeah, they are destroying America.
Yeah.
And we need to stop it. We need to put an end to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think straight white men need to, take control and get back into office.
Yeah.
And set this country straight.
I agree, man, because no more kissing up to this, a black man who agrees with us. Let's all rally behind the black man who agrees with us rather than us standing for us. Because you can't just be like, let's prop up these minorities, because then it shows that you agree with the liberals and you're shallow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just lets them in the door.
Right.
And then, after that, if it's a conservative black person that gets in, then after that it's going to be a radical liberal black person, and pretty soon they're going to be doing horrible things to white people.
I know, and a lot of so-called conservative blacks, they're snakes too. They're not, and the conservative whites too, same thing. They're pretenders. You have to have discernment and love what's right.
Yeah. Well, we need to not let it happen.
Yeah.
So, to my fellow white people out there, be aware. Just be aware.
Yeah, very true. I appreciate it, Joe. It's good to hear from you, man.
All right, brother. You take it easy.
All right. You as well. Take care.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. I have to read these super chats, guys. A lot of them came in over there on Odyssey. Hold on. Avoid the groid. Avoid their cookouts, says Daisy. Avoid their stores. Avoid their neighborhood. Avoid them at any cost. Never relax. Asmodor says, the blacks in South Africa can't even figure out how to keep the power on. Yeah, over in Cape Town, they were running out of water. Your girlfriend says, if John knows what's good for him, he wouldn't bite the hand that feeds him. The leftover black farmers aren't going to feed him for a pay cut. Asmodor says, okay, Hake, he just threatened, jokingly or not, to come commit violence against you along with Jeremiah. Stop taking these people's calls. It's gone too far. They are lowering the tone, literally like apes. They add nothing. This caller is why I don't like these people, says Daisy. Yeah. Letting these low IQ morons call in every day and threaten to kill our babies is going too far. The caller roster needs some real consideration. Thank you for the feedback, guys. Yeah, that's right. I hadn't caught that. He did say that, huh? Sick stuff. Evil. William in California and the rest of the callers, I cannot get to you. It is 11. We are ending the show. Appreciate it, though, guys. This has been the Hake Report. The Fallen State is coming up in about an hour. TheFallenState.tv. And, of course, Church with Jesse Lee Peterson on Sunday. Appreciate it, guys. Take care.